Hi, what's up? We are continuing our journey through one of the craziest sets of Magic of all time, the Mystery Booster playtest cards. We've already seen some pretty insane things, like this, which just makes me feel like I've gone way too deep into the abyss, and now my humanity is lost forever. But we can plunge even further ahead. There are still things remaining in the capital of the unreturned. Sorry, I've been reading a bunch of Made in Abyss, so I'm making Made in Abyss jokes. This one is called Recyclabird, and it has amazing artwork. When it dies, put a flying counter on target creature you control. So, ooh, the prices. We didn't see prices before. Apparently, these are actually going to be quite expensive because the run of the mystery boosters is really, really low. And apparently they're going to print more mystery boosters as just like a draft set, where it's all just reprints. We were talking about the reprints before, but those won't have the test cards in them. The test cards are only for this one limited run at this one convention. So these could end up being some of the most, some of the rarest cards just in all of Magic, really. Like, $6 could be a bargain in the long run. Anyways, flying counter. Presumably that's a counter that gives something flying in the same way that a +1/+1 counter gives something +1/+1. This has less memory issues than things that bestow keywords permanently. There are a few effects where it gives something a keyword and then that thing can die and the keyword persists. Most of the time it's like, wow, this is around. Something else has this keyword. I don't know. Anyways, this is a pretty cool card, and I think it actually could be quite strong too. Giving something permanent flying for later on. Red Herring. Exchange Red Herring from your hand with a permanent you control on the battlefield or a spell you control on the stack. A permanent alright. Sure, okay, that's fun. It's a little switcheroo. The fish comes in instead. It can save the day. It can fake out your opponent. Like, I think a pretty good use is you play something big, it falls into a counterspell, and then the red herring gets countered instead. Something like that. That seems like a very flavorful use, possibly a useful use. I like his little Karl Marx glasses, and a bargain at $5. Rift, legendary land. Before drawing your hand, you may start the game with Rift in your opening hand if you do draw one fewer card. Ooh, okay, so it's a land you can guaranteed have, but if ETB's tapped and it only adds colorless. I don't think this is generally worth it. Like, if you're really, really paranoid about not having good lands, you really want to play conservatively in deck building with your lands or whatever, I can see the appeal of something like this. I think this is a very interesting design space that you could do any sort of card with this mechanic, to varying extents of power level and usefulness and scariness. This is, of course, like probably the lowest impact trial of this sort of mechanic. It's kind of like the anti-Gemstone Mines. Gemstone Mines comes into play for free, and it's a very powerful land. It can produce any color, but you have to luck out and get it in your opening hand. Here, it's one of the worst lands you can imagine, but you have to, but you get it automatically. You don't have to actually draw it. Uh, no, I don't think this is good. Like, what I was gonna say is that you build your mana base expecting to draw lands. Like, that's the whole point. You need to draw those lands to play the game. So if you've already resigned yourself to never drawing those lands and have put in all these safeguard measures just to make your deck function in those really unlikely cases, then your deck isn't actually going to be good. It'll just be consistently functional. So I give this one a miss. It's a cool design though. Like, I want to see this mechanic tried out. I don't know. It's almost inherently degenerate though, because it really favors like combo kills and things like that. Not really fair Magic. Ruff, the underdog champ. I'll rather this to be true. Okay. If you've lost a game this match, it and the other dogs you control get +1/+1. I love it. And the art, I love it. And the flavor of literally an underdog is fun. And this is a nice little bit of obscure Magic lore. Oh gosh, that's not what I wanted to do. Hounds. Hound, 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 hound. All of these things are hounds. hounds. And if we go into our advanced search, you'll find hound, a creature type that is quite well supported. We have 76 of them. But dog, I think we're only gonna get this guy. I'm pretty sure. Oh. Wait, so they actually so Scryfall actually took this errata to heart. Now Scryfall is actually treating all of these as dogs. Because Morrow has said, Mark Rosewater has said on his blog, that he wished that they had called them dogs from the start. That hounds are actually like a specific set of breeds of dogs. Dog is much more general, dog is much more familiar. It's equivalent to cat because cats in Magic are called cats. They're not called like felines or tabbies or lions or whatever the equivalent is. They're just they're just cats, sorry. And he wishes that these could all be dogs too, but it's too late. And it's like, you don't want to split up the creature type and lose whatever. See, this was a dog. Back in the day, this was a dog. And then it became a hound. And now it's a dog again. It's the circle of life. Wait, why doesn't Rough Underdog Champ show up here? Maybe by default it doesn't include silver bordered cards or other weirdo cards like this. Non-border cards? I don't know. Okay, whatever. Yeah, this card is sweet. This mechanic I think is super cool too. But again, they can never really do this between matches things. It's just such a logistical nightmare. So yeah, I don't ever see them exploring this sort of space. This is kind of like something for an entirely different game. But as I said before, I think games with that kind of mechanic are interesting, with resources carried over between games in a set, strategic information, a playoff between information and resources spent and stuff. It's Sarah's Wings! Not Sarah, like Sarah Angel and stuff, but Sarah, like the person who drew this card and presumably also made this card. So my guess is that a lot of these people, oops, that's a card we haven't seen yet. A lot of these people just work on Magic. They drew the art. Some of them are very talented artists, and they also probably came up with a card. Like, I feel like all of these are just made by, I don't know. Like, okay, whatever. Okay, so target creature or player gains flying until end of turn. That's very cute. That's exactly what you would think a flying player would do. So, nice, nice. You can either have your team, have someone on your team get in for damage, or you can protect yourself. A nice modal spell. Also, it's a tribal instant, which I thought they would never do again. No more tribal. But they had another card that references tribal, right? The something that had all the different card types they're talking about. So I guess they felt they should put some tribal in the limited format. Scaled Destruction. Ah, all right. So this is something white can do. White can do like all of these chunks. Well, I guess not toughness 4 or less. I think white mostly just can hit big things. There's like a few black effects I can think of that rub out small things. And then of course like direct damage is functionally the same as rubbing out small things. But white is more about the big guys. But yeah, this is cute. I like that they actually included this remainder text this time. There's a few other cards where it's like, you figure it out. What do you think a small creature is? Are you going to go by art? Are you going to go by stats? Are you going to go by CMC? It's up to you. Seasoned Weaponsmith. What? Okay, so this one is 20 bucks. Maybe because the art is just so fantastic. Mark, dude, this is the next Seb Gibbon. Wait, that's not his name, is it? Sev? McKinnon. Seb Gibbon. What? Seb McKinnon. Yeah, this guy's definitely the next Seb McKinnon. Tasty. This creature can be attacked directly. If it is attacked, it can't block creatures that didn't attack it. So this lines up with like why is it called this? I guess it's seasoned because it has seasoning on it, But why is it a weaponsmith? I thought maybe there would be a reference that I would be able to find. Wow, the MTG wiki on well, this isn't the Oh, I think this is the Salvation one. MTG Salvation's wiki. This is hilarious. They actually have to make pages for all of these insane new mechanics. Tasty. Okay. Maybe we'll look at the test card article. That might be a good way to find out some kind of contextual information for cards we don't understand. Like, is this a reference to something? I don't know. This mechanic doesn't seem that good or that interesting to me. But it makes Magic more in line with a lot of other card games. Like Hearthstone, you attack the minions directly, and Yu-Gi-Oh, and I think Duel, whatever it's called. The other Wizards game, the Wizards game they made to try to get the Yu-Gi-Oh audience. Duel Masters. There we go. Seek Bolas's Counsel. So you call it Bolas. You're doing the classic talking on the phone thing. So I don't really like talking on the phone very much. I go out of my way to try to really correspond in any way besides phone calls. But I miss that I never got to do this. Lie on my bed, stomach down, with the phone, playing with the cable. It's so cliche. The posters in the background, it's also cliche. But that was never me. I never got to do that. Even if I wanted to do that, we had wireless phones when I was a kid. We never really had a corded phone. Dang. This is good though. And I like that Nicol Bolas is reading a book. Y'all know about Nicol Bolas and his book. Gotta go back to the OG card and the OG printing. Ah, yes. Ah, yes. I remember seeing this as a kid and thinking that it was pretty cool. The big spooky dragon. One of the craziest creatures I had seen when I was a kid. Like, oh my god, look at this. Look at this and everything. He's just reading a book. I thought he had glasses. For some reason I pictured him wearing glasses in this. But I guess why would he need glasses? He's a magic dragon. You would just fix that. Okay, so what does this actually do? You pay 3, the sorcery, so you can get, oh my gosh, it's like all of the Nicol Bolas features. So you can get his upkeep cost, you can make everybody discard their hands, you can planeswalk to the Pools of Becoming, which is like from an entirely different play mode. So this is Plane Chase. I don't know if this is generally known, but this was a little supplemental set with an entirely different play style. Not entirely different, but it adds like a new thing. So you have one of these planes in play. That's where the current battle is taking place. It has an effect. Every turn you do this, and then there's a die you roll every turn. And it's either like do nothing. Most of them are just do nothing. One of them is planeswalk to another plane. So you flip another plane off the planar deck, and that's where you are now. Or it's this weird symbol, and that activates like another ability of the plane. So you can't roll the planar die unless you're playing Plane Chase, but you still get this effect. Like you can never get this effect, but you can still, yeah, you can still get to do this, which is pretty crazy. Okay, cool. And this is of course where Bolas hangs out. It's in his meditation realm. For each opponent, exile cards from the top of their library until you exile a non-land card. You may cast those cards. Wow. Okay. Cool. Well, okay, until you exile a non-land card. For a second I was thinking this based on until you exile a land, and then you can actually get a pretty good streak going. But here it's like you get at most 1 land play, and then 1 spell play. But whatever, that's still pretty hype. For 3 mana, that's pretty hype. Destroy all creatures non Wow, okay. I like that some of these are directly inspired by existing Nicol Bolas cards, and other things are like, hey, he can do this too. Did you know he could do this? He just didn't do it before, but he can still do it. I mean, this is pretty exciting. Yeah, this is cool. Siege Elemental. Untapped creatures can't block. Tapped creatures can block. Okay, well, that says it all right there. I like that this is an elemental, when it's very clearly just a humanly constructed thing. But I guess it's like the forces of Siege have spawned from pure siege energy, this entity. So this is kind of cool. The flavor here is, of course, that it's attacking all the time, so it's tapped all the time, and then it also gets to block, and that the best way for your opponent to end up with good blockers is to attack a lot. A good offense is the best defense, so it really does change the game into something pretty crazy. The thing is, it doesn't have haste, so it's going to end up being like a turn behind. It's not going to block the turn it comes down, and then it's going to have to swing into blockers because of, presumably your opponent attacks. I don't know. I always like start evaluating cards and then I start thinking of like these little play narratives, but it's always only going to be like one scenario. There's only so much you can infer. Holy crap. What? Wow. Wow. Okay, they did it. This was like something they could have done in Black Border, and it would have been the super hype climax of an arc or something. Oh my god, the slivers and the Eldrazi have merged. The slivers are mutating into replicating Eldrazi characteristics, like all sorts of insane stuff. And here it is in Never Ever Real Land. It's a little disappointing, I guess, but I don't know. I suppose this is an extremely scary type line of text. This is an extremely scary line of text that slivers have Annihilator 1, so you swing out with your team and they sacrifice that many permanents. And you get just free, well not free, but as many as you can pay for Eldrazi Sliver creature tokens that also sack for mana, which is nice. I mean, you're definitely in good mana shape if you're making these and have played this, but damn, and an 8/8. That's some solid stats. Usually these big 5-color slivers are 5/5s. I guess there was one that was like a 7/7. That was, I think the first sliver, which is the Cascading Sliver, is like a 7/7. Yeah. And then Sliver Horde, I believe, is also a 7/7. Isn't it called Sliver Horde? If I just search Sliver, there's going to be a million. We can do this. This is a good way to do it. Boop, 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 boop. Sliver Queen, I think, is just a 5/5. Sliver Overlord. Okay. Oh, they're almost all 7/7s. Yeah. Okay. And then this one is an 8/8, I guess, because it has one extra mana. Damn, I'm surprised they like this design is a little nuts. I don't think they would be able to print this design, and I guess it's kind of hard not to do like Annihilator because that's like by far the most iconic Eldrazi mechanic. But given how much people love all of these cards, to varying extents, but people really do love these cards. You would think they would try to do this at some point. I don't know. Slivers, it's like, oh my god, whoa, Sliv Mizzet? It's a, what the fuck? Sliv Mizzet became, Niv Mizzet became a sliver. The difference in quality of these arts is insane too. Slivers you control have flying, and whenever you draw a card, okay, so it gives them the Niv Mizzet mechanics. So just like the original Niv Mizzet, you can look at here, this one. So the flavor text, there's been some debate about it. Some people are like, oh, it's a real mathematical formula. Well, no, it's not, because there's many, many undefined variables. So you can't say it's real or not. But, and stuff like this arrow, like, it really doesn't mean anything like that. But it's just a little, clever little puzzle. So you rotate the Z 90 degrees, and that's the N, and then, anyway, it spells Niv Mizzet. I'm too lazy to sort out how. It just spells Niv Mizzet, and then it's like Niv Mizzet equals 1, because he's like number 1, you know? I don't know. Anyways, so what does this one say? Sliv. So you rotate this 180, and it says sliver, and then equals N. Oh, you rotate this whole thing. Oh, I get it. NIV. 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 Yeah. Okay, I understand. And then equals Niv. Yeah, so Sliv equals Niv. Beautiful. Yeah, alright, this is cool. It's I don't know, it's so fun because everyone loves slivers. I think everyone loves slivers. I love slivers. So this mashup of slivers and other really iconic things, very entertaining to me. Smelt, heard, saw. Oh, it's like a fart joke. Huh? Is it? No, well, kind of. But it's a nice use of homophones. Wow, that took me a while. Smelt, destroy target artifact. I almost feel like there is already a card called Smelt. Yep, and it destroys target artifacts. Heard, I don't think this exists. But sure, you get 6 power for 6 mana. Sure, sure. You saw it in half, and they're red because they're like bloody. Oh, that's so gruesome. Oh, so that's cool because it has the formatting of a split card in Scryfall. So Scryfall assumes you might want to rotate it because usually that's how split cards look, but not quite, not quite. So what is going on with the art? Here we can see our elks, and here we can see it's been sawed in half. And I guess because the whole thing is like a shield, that's what's getting destroyed, but it's not being smelted. Whatever. It's Pusheen! It's Pusheen! Hey, you're the magic card! Wow, good for you! Good for you, Pusheen. Something's on the floor. Enchant 2 creatures. They each get +1/+1 and have hexproof. Ooh, aww. Also, enchant 2 creatures. That's something they've never done before, but I don't know. I actually don't see there being that much rules baggage. Both of those creatures are enchanted for things that care about enchanted creatures. It applies the aura effects to both of them. I don't know. I feel like that's maybe something you can get away with in the rules fairly easily. Yeah, I love it. Enchant 2 creatures. It's so cute. Look, it's Pusheen. Thank you, Victoria. Put my girl out there in the world. You know, I mean, I know, Pusheen is everyone's cat. Pusheen is extremely popular. Pusheen has some of the most popular stickers on Facebook. But because I bought this, because I own the biggest Pusheen, I kind of feel like Pusheen is really mine more than most people's at least. I mean, I'm not saying I'm the biggest Pusheen fan. There's probably some crazy Pusheen super fans out there, but I'm still allowed. I'm in definitely the top percentile of Pusheen claimants. Spellmorph raised dead. This was someone we saw briefly before when we checked an artist. This Seth Conley. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Oh, that's so cool! What? This mechanic is sick! This mechanic is so sick. Why don't they do this? This one seems like obvious. I get that they're a little skittish around morph. They've like really toned down what things are able to do when they unmorph in the latest morph set in cons, because in onslaught block morph got a little spooky, I guess, for them. So maybe they don't really want to push into the direction of spell morph, of things unmorphing and becoming spells immediately, instead of just having like an ETB effect or whatever, and thus being more costly. Like, this is a reasonable cost for this spell. Plus, you get the versatility of having it be a creature when the spell isn't needed yet. I don't know. It's pretty sweet, though. I would love to see this mechanic in Black Border. I really hope they are just using this as an opportunity to feel out some mechanics. But given how limited the release is, I don't know. There's not really that much data they can get. Squidnapper. Uh-huh. Oh, the ransom. Okay, yeah. So we saw this mechanic before. It's kind of cool that they're using some mechanics like twice. I haven't really seen more than twice. Legacy got used twice, and maybe that's it so far. Yeah, this seems, I guess, fine. The stats are pretty good. And that's what sets it apart from like Sword of Temptation, which I'm pretty sure also ETB mind controls, but it's cheaper. It's a little cheaper. Stats are a little worse, but there's no this ransom thing. Like like a rule of thumb is any card that's giving your opponent a choice is much worse than it seems at first, because when it comes down to it, your opponent will make the choice that like doesn't lose them the game. So these cards will likely never actually directly win you the game or put you in a position where you're gonna win the game trivially from there, right? Like when it comes down to it, this will be never the one you really want. They're gonna take the creature back if the creature's gonna kill them. They're gonna let you have the creature if they have other removal or whatever. It's like yeah, you just really don't want to give your opponents choices. Stack of paperwork. Hey! You know, like it used to. So yeah, combat damage used to be on the stack, which was a lot crazier because you could do things like you attack with your creature, it's blocked. Your creature, they assign damage to one another, but there's actually a spot for priority between using your attack and getting hit by the blocking creature's attack, during which you could do all sorts of really wacky things. And depending on the flavor of wacky thing you're doing, but in most cases, your attack will still go through. Even if you scooped up your guy, even if you changed what that guy's attack stat was, any of that stuff, the original attack put out will still go through. So it was very unintuitive, and it led to a lot of like pretty bad feels type situations where you think you have all of your blockers lined up, and you're even prepared for like combat tricks, but you're not prepared for this like mid-combat combat trick that leads to like a one-sided board wipe or something. So love this. So it makes a lot of sense to me that Wizards changed it. I personally think it's a fine change. I think combat damage on the stack is just it's too like fiddly, you know. It leads to too many like unintuitive things, and it's not like the game really needs more complexity. It doesn't really need more timings of interaction and stuff. It's got plenty of that kind of shenanigans already. So yeah, but we're bringing it back, you know, like it used to. This is wonderful. Okay, start fire. Sure, sure. Wait, what's weird about this card? Is there anything weird about this card? It's just a normal split card. Start to fire. Start a fire. What? Like I don't even understand if there's like a pun in these names. Fire is already a card. Maybe that's the kind of cuteness of it. Oh gosh, there's a lot of things called fire. Fire, 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 fire. Where's just fire? Well, it's called fire ice. There we go. So this is the exact same fire as that fire. Just like smelt before was just smelt. Start, I'm pretty sure, is not a card though. Oh, it is! Oh, okay, I get it then. They made a new split card by just stapling two existing split cards together. Well, that's kind of funny. Alright, okay, I get it. But they could do that if they wanted to. They'd probably use different names, but this is a fine card. Sunimret. Wow. Okay. All right. I like it. Reverse Miracle. I mean, already just the term reverse miracle, it really resonates with me. I like taking words that have kind of like almost a sacred feel, miracle, epiphany, and thinking of kind of plain, non like evil sounding words that you can put in front of them, like anti-epiphany. I really like the term anti-epiphany. I also really like No Epiphany. I wrote a short story called No Epiphany once, which I really liked. Reverse Miracle is really good. I like Reverse. Reverse Miracle. Oh, that's so good. And the mechanic is really fun too. So while you're searching a library, if this happens to be the absolute bottom card, which is not a hard thing to put, like if you mulligan it or something, but then you don't want to, you're not trying to exile all creatures turn one. So it's balanced. This must be balanced. Oh, it's Terminus backwards. Oh, very good, very good, very good. Probably the art is similar too. What's the Terminus art look like? It's just like a big beam of light. Yeah, yeah. Awesome, very awesome. Okay, cool. And I like that Terminus bottoms creatures, and this is kind of like it's on the bottom and it just exiles creatures. Yeah, a lot to love here. The mana cost, of course, the exact same. Swarm of Locusts. Not locust, but locus. Yeah, that's right. Like cloud posted stuff. Yeah, these are locusts. This one is banned because it turns out this is actually pretty strong, even though there are only 2 locusts as far as I know. Nice, nice. So this is a little weird because locust right now is just a land subtype. And we were talking before about how the way that subtypes work in Magic is that they have to be strictly either a land subtype or an archetype, artifact subtype, or a creature subtype, or whatever. And that's why things are like land creature, forest arbor, or whatever, forest dryad. Yeah, that was a hard sentence to say. So this having the locust subtype, even though it's not a land creature, it's probably not getting printed. But it's fun. What a throwback. This was like something I thought Wizards might want to forget about forever because it's so friggin' strong. Okay, cool. Sure. Cool. Cool. Why is it in black? I guess these are colorless. Taiga Stadium. Oh, alright, that's kind of cool. I don't know. Would this be good? I don't think so. I think this is much too restrictive. First off, you're basically going to be playing 4-color. No, 3-color at least. Taiga Stadium. Is there some other pun I'm not getting here? Like, Taiga is the red-green land, right? Yeah. So, like, Oh, is it because there's also Taigam? And Taigam has these colors associated with it? So it's like, is it Taiga? Taiga? I don't know. All right, whatever. Okay, that's it for this page. We still got one more full page and then some amount on the 7th page. So probably the next video will be the last. Hope you're enjoying these. Let me know. Are these fun cards? I think these are super fun cards. Which is your favorite? Which is your favorite art? It's this one. Yeah. Also, how do you think these cards work in the situations where I have no idea? What are your takes? Okay, bye-bye.